Hello everybody, it's nice to see some people tuning in for a random unannounced stream. How you doing? It's been way too long since I've been online. It's really good to see some people tuning in. How you doing, man? How's it going down under Blunder? Hey T-Ram, hey Jay, good to see you. This is going to be a little bit different from the last few streams I've done. How loud is the synth, by the way? Let's just flick over to here. Change to screen capture. It's okay, we can do that. We want to select screen. So yeah, it's been a while. Let me know how loud that synthwave is. I'll turn it down a little bit. Don't want it to be too loud. Basically, I've not really got it in me to do an Armored Core stream tonight. I want to get back into finishing Armored Core 6. It's going to happen next week. But I just wanted to play some Netrunner. I was at the Netrunner Nationals on the last weekend for Australia, and I had a blast. And I just wanted to play some more and highlight just what a cool community this game has. And the game's completely free to play. You don't need to pay anything to get into the game. You can play it online, although be careful if you play it online. It's pretty cutthroat online. But Kitchen Netrunner is pretty cool. And there's a format called Startup, which is a very small card pool that I'm going to be playing some games on today. And I just want to chat with chat and basically just have a chill time. Now, I noticed that chat isn't working, which is a great start. I wonder why that has happened. Let me just try resetting it. See if that updates. It could also be actually at the wrong pair. If I just put the screen capture back. See if that helps. But hey Bosco, hey Kinder Jaeger, hey Toasty Ghost. So yeah, I'm just going to be playing some Netrunner today. It's going to be very, very chill. We're probably going to get our asses kicked. But I just think it's something fun to do. I'm trying to work out why chat isn't working though. Small volume decrease for the synth. Thanks, TRM. How's that looking like? It doesn't update live for me, so you need to be aware of that. Oh, something we need to do as well is we need to launch the chatbot. You're going to see a little bit of a behind the scenes there. Let's get the chatbot launched as well. And I'll talk you through the deck I want to play, what we're doing with it, how it's going to work, and then I'll be very chatty during games explaining what's going on. But this is going to be really chill. Like, I want to chat with chat. Get Netrunner confused with NetHack. Yeah, I get that, Amy Mason. Very similar names. All right, let's get the chatbot up and running. Let's take this off the screen. I don't need to change logs. Hang on a second. You don't need to see all the stuff I've got behind the scenes. You can tell what a prepared person I am, like how great I am at all this. You know, I never completed NetHack, but I did know a guy when I was in school who was very good at completing it. They knew all the secrets, like what to write on the floor and stuff, which was pretty impressive. All right, let's get this show on the road. Connect to YouTube. Connect to bot. And connect to Streamlabs. Angband's another good one, yeah. But that's not the type of game we're going to be playing tonight. Let me just check a couple of things. So first of all, let me know if you hear this. Looks like that played, which is good. And what's the other command? For text to speech. Where is it? I think it's actually on the script. Just check, it's XMRsh TTS. Best roguelike on the market? I would say, that's a really tough question. I used to play a lot of roguelikes. I'm a big fan of Kingdoms of Cud. It is a very, very good roguelike. It's very brutal. Fishy, thanks man. We'll just check this plays as well. Should hear that very nice Australian man in a second. Nice.
Says, this is a test woo.
How loud was that? Was that loud enough? I might need to... What I might need to do is turn the synth down in here. It's going to get loud for a second. So turn it down here, and then we'll turn the main volume up. So just be aware it costs a lot of...
Man says, what?
It costs a lot of points to to play text-to-speech, okay? So just to warn you, I'm going to turn the synth down just a little bit more. We want it just to be like chilling in the background. Sorry if that got really loud. It does that when I go in to change the volume. Ozzy's now a lady? This is like a lady to me. Yeah, so you use a lot of points to use text-to-speech. I think it's 1,000. It's going to cost you 150 points to do text-to-speech, okay? So just be aware of that. Right. How does Netrunner work? So basically, there are two players, and they're playing a different game. It's a 150 point span. Also, why is chat not working? Why is this not working now as well? Didn't mean to do that. Why is our chat box not appearing? If I move over here, so chat's working here. Just copy this and move it over here. I delete this. Paste it in here. Still no chat box. Ah, there we go, working. Fixed it. Nice. Look at me tech supporting my own stream. Okay, so the way Netrunner works, I'll let you bet on games, man. How about that? You can bet on whether I'm going to lose it when I lose a game. The way Netrunner works is one player is a hacker, the other player is a corporation. The corporation is trying to either win the game by advancing its secret agendas or by killing the runner. Those are the only two ways it can win. The runner is trying to win the game by stealing the agendas from the corporation before it can score them, or not dying, basically, are the two ways to do it. What I want to focus on tonight is a runner deck. This is not the right deck. In fact, we're going to just use it, look at it in techie. So this is an online game player. We're going to be looking at this deck here, which is an Anarch deck. It is a board game. It's a card game. It's a card game. It used to be a not a trading card game. It used to be a limited card game, but it was run by Fantasy Flight Games. Fantasy Flight don't own the license anymore, from what I understand. It is now run by a non-profit called is it Nisai and Silver Games? I need to get that right. It's run by a non-profit. They're still releasing new sets, and it's completely free to play. So you can download the cards, print them out, and just play them at home. So yeah, the corporation can blackmail the hacker. They can kill them. In the past, corporations have been able to just destroy the entire building the hacker is in. So it's up to the hacker not to get tracked and traced and destroyed. So I've got, one of the things we need to work on tonight is my deck is currently 54 cards. Is this big enough? Do I need to zoom in a little bit? And what we need to do is need to cut this deck down. Now, without seeing the game in action, it's pretty hard to explain exactly what's happening. But the idea behind this deck is that my identity, which is the hacker that I'm playing as, exactly, you want to always be on the move, you want to always not be caught by the what is this song? Let me know if it's too loud and it's overriding me. Is you want to basically not get caught. Now, one of the things a corporation can do to defend itself is it can put ice down to defend, like ice being like basically firewalls, ice walls. And one of the things that the identity that I've picked for my hacker, this is Reina Roja, she's a freedom fighter, is it costs the corporation more money to activate their ice. I'll explain it in game. So what I'm going for here is like an econ pressure deck. I want to make it harder for the corp to do what they want to do. And yeah, hey T-Dog, how's it going? And make my life a bit easier. Now, a new set has just dropped, so we're trying to use as many cards from that new set as possible. And the first card I want to use is this Bahia Vance. This is such a cool card. It lets me do stuff on the move. Hey, Down Under, it's okay. Good luck with the crafting. That stuff you're sending me looks really, really cool. I hope you get some games out as well. I'm probably going to have to explain this on the go, but Bahia Bands lets me do a bunch of stuff and hack at the corporation at the same time, which is very cool. I can draw cards, I can install cards, I can get rid of tags, which are nasty. I can also trash corp cards with it. It's doing two things for one, which is always, it's actually kind of doing three things for one, which is amazing in Netrunner. I've got this card called Chashtushka, which is a very rude card. It forces the corporation to discard cards, which is one way for me to get at them without them being able to lay traps for me. And a lot of people don't expect it in this identity, or at least they're not looking out for it. So it's a good way to catch them out. So if I get in, basically the HQ, the corporation, has to choose between discarding 4 cards from their hand, or for every card they haven't discarded from their hand, they have to destroy cards from the top of their deck. They go into their archives, which is like their graveyard, and then I can hack into their graveyard, and if there's any of their agendas in there, I can steal them and win the game. The Chatuska is very, very good. I've got 2 Kartoga breakouts in here. These let me run. I'm just going to change this song. This song is really distracting. Oh, that got loud. Sorry that got so loud. Don't know why it does that when I go in here. We'll try that. The synthwave's not quite synthwavy enough. Sorry that got so loud. Gmod, that's cool, man. That's awesome. So Kartoga Breakout lets me run a server and then just get a card back from my graveyard, which is kind of important considering other cards I'm playing. It may be up for the cut. Overclock is just a very, very good card. Lets me run a server and gives me some money while I'm running that server. So running servers is how I hack. Big, big important. Steelskin Scarring, I can pay some money to draw some cards. And if I get hurt, I have to discard cards. And this lets me draw cards for free if I get hurt. If I'm made to discard a card and I have no cards in hand, I die. That's how the corporation kills me. So Steelskin Scarring just keeps me alive a little bit longer. We've got Strike Fund here, pay 1, get 4. It's kind of like, that's kind of a very common thing in Netrunner, pay money to get money. And if this gets trashed in my grip from like me taking damage, I get 2 credits, so it's not at the end of the world. Sure Gamble, I think there's very few, at least like, unless it's a very techie deck that don't have Sure Gamble in them, you're paying 5 credits to get 9 credits. The credits is the money in the game. It's just, you're just spending money to get money. It's very Netrunner. The Price is one of the new cards, and it's incredibly cool. You pay 1, you flip the top 4 cards of your deck over. You get to install one of those paying 3 less, the rest go in the bin. It's a way of just accelerating really, really fast. This is the card that I'm kind of building around. I want to try and make it take advantage of the speed that the Price gets you set up, if I can, to get the deck moving really, really quickly. Then we've got 2 Tread Lightly's. Tread Lightly's just, I can run at the end, run at a server. This is bought in from another faction. I've spent influence for this card, that's why it's got the dots after it. Cheers to Kinderyear. And this will make it so that if the corporation wants to res ice to stop me, if it wants to raise some firewalls to stop me, it's going to cost it 3 extra credits to do that. And if you combine that with my faction ability, which makes, sorry, my identity, which makes it cost 1 more for all ice, that means that when I play this, it's going to cost the corporation 4 more for each piece of ice it wants to res. And sometimes I can sneak into a server they wouldn't expect me to because it's going to cost them so much money. Or they make a mistake, res a piece of ice on a server that I'm dummy running, and then I can get into another server easily. This is quite a cool card in this deck. I've got 2 of these. These are all events. These are like, if you play Magic, these are like your, kind of like your sorceries. Now we're getting into our hardware, which if you like want a really basic comparison, these are your artifacts. So we've got Airblade's Airblade X's GSRF edition. This is a vehicle. They're like, I don't know, jet-powered roller skates. But these prevent damage if I'm running into a piece of ice that hurts me, and they also stop ice that have special when encountered abilities, which are quite nasty. So these are pretty cool just to have. We've got a Ghost Tongue here. I'm actually not sure about the Ghost Tongue, because it means I have to take something called core damage to play it, which permanently reduces my hand size. And as I said before, hand size is like how much health you have. So this is permanently reducing your health by 1. But it means that all of your events, which are all of these cards here, cost 1 less to play. So it can be pretty cool. Yeah, basically the Tribe's Glide Skates, essentially. You have 1 slot in your deck, like in play for a console, which is how you're hacking, essentially. And we've brought in a console from another faction here. This is a criminal console. We're playing an Anarch. This is a criminal. This console says that whenever either player gets an agenda, so the corp will score the agenda, will steal the agenda, we get to put a card back in their hand that they haven't rezzed, which means they haven't paid money to activate it. So this is part of that that pressure we're putting on them. We can end up in some pretty nasty situations where we Chatushka them, make them discard cards, run their archives, hit an agenda, that triggers Hermes, and they get to put the piece of ice that's protecting their main server away, and they get to run in there afterwards. It's just, this is kind of like the main thing I'm trying to build around is the Hermes triggers, so we're going to see if we can do something with that. Prepaid voice pad. This just gives me 1 free credit every turn to spend on events. It doesn't go into my normal credit pool, it's just always there every turn to spend on events. It's very good. I've got 2 of those. And then 1 solidarity badge, which is another piece of hardware. If I trash a card of the corp, again, we'll talk about that when we're playing, I get to remove I get to put a power counter on it, and at the start of my turn, I can remove a power counter to either draw a card or remove a tag. Tags are bad. Then we've got some programs. I'm an Anarch. I'm running a few viruses. We've got Botulus. Botulus is a really cool virus. It makes ice easier to break. Yeah, I'm gonna start making my plays a lot more explained TRM. So I want to just build the basic idea for the deck. We've got what I call a basic breaker suite, which is just a set of ice breakers that break each type of ice that the corp can have. Those are sentries, code gates, and barriers. So we've got Buzzsaw, which is our code gate breaker. We've got Cleaver, which is our barrier breaker. And we've got Mimic, which is our sentry breaker. If you've ever played Netrunner, these will be very familiar cards. We only have 1 of each of these, which does put us in a little bit of a bad situation if they get trashed from something like the Price. So that's why we have Kartoga Breakout to try and bring them back if we lose them, because we want to get each of these in play eventually. But other programs we have 3 Botulus, which is just great for getting through 1 piece of ice. It just gets all over it and gives us virus counters we can use to get through. We've got Fermenters, which just make money over time, and then we trash them to get money. Armored Cores, Disco Caddy, look, I wouldn't say it's as hard as Elden Ring, but it has some difficulty spikes. It's more of a gear check on whether you're building the right thing. People might get lost in the explanation. Cool, thanks, TRM. Got Hush here. Again, this stuff won't make sense until in game. Hush is pretty good against very nasty ice that shuts down my Botuluses. And then I've got 2 imps, which just give me free counters to trash programs with. And then I've got a bunch of different resources here. I'll discuss these as they come up because they'll make more sense. That's the deck we're going to go with. That's what I want to play. Let's see if we can get a game going. Now, etiquette in this community is if I'm streaming, I need to let people know that I'm streaming so they can choose not to join the game if they've got any deck tech they don't want to give away or put on stream. So I will be putting in my game titles the fact that I am streaming. So I'll just put live next to my name. That's a good one, Chaos Space Rune, actually. Also good to see you. A couple if I could type. Hang on, live. I should really put a link to the stream in, but don't think I can really fit that in here. Hang on, do I have that in my... I've got a notepad document with the stream address in. Again, etiquette kind of says that I should put a stream link in. There you go. That should fit. So I'm going to play Runner. I don't want to play Startup. Now, we might not get anyone joining us, okay? We might just not get anything going on. But let's see how it goes. I'm going to create the lobby. People can join if they want to. We might get some weird people joining this. There's a few people in the scene who know me, so they may jump in here and have a go at us. We'll see what happens. I'm probably going to lose some games. We're trying to work it out. I'm playing Startup and not Standard. Standard is like a much bigger card pool and a much more interesting meta because I'm going to PAX Australia in 2 weeks' time, which I want to talk about on the stream. And there's going to be a Startup Netrunner tournament at PAX that I want to play in, and I'm trying to work out what runner I want to take. So this is like me working that out. So let's see if we got... Also, I've got some whiskey. I might have some whiskey as the night goes on. I'm just looking for a really chill evening. If anyone wants to ask me about Xenonauts, about High Fleet, about War Tales, about anything else, go for it. I'm here to chat tonight. I'm not going to get too focused on my games. I just want to just chill out with the community, basically. And I know it's not like the super interesting. Hopefully we get into a game and I get it commentating on it. People might like it a little bit, but I just thought we'd just have a chill evening. And again, we might not get any games. Not many people are playing Startup at the moment. Everyone's really excited for the new Standard meta. And I do have some Standard decks. And I played Standard at the Nationals last weekend. But I've got a little bit of an excitement for this deck working in Startup. It won't work in Standard, unfortunately. Frax, I like it. Yeah, that's the big thing, Disco Caddy, is a lot of the difficulty in Armored Core 6 comes down to actually identifying what you are up against and changing your setup to beat it. Amy, in general, this community is pretty chill, and I would be pretty shocked if they did join the stream. Like that kind of thing, that getting a win that way doesn't really sit very well with this community. That said, every community has its bad eggs, and there may be some people who do that, but in general, the people I've dealt with, they wouldn't do that kind of thing. And you know what? If they need the win that badly, sure, they can have it. See, nobody wants to join because I'm live. But I'm not going to ambush people and not tell them that I'm live. And I'm also not going to join other people's games and then not be like, oh, by the way, I'm live, like after we started playing. That's not fair. But just to give you a bit of background on Netrunner, it was originally released, it was originally a, who's the guy that came up with Magic? Richard Garfield. Richard Garfield originally came up with Netrunner. It was a Wizards of the Coast game, I think, and then it kind of went out of print. And then Fantasy Flight picked up the license, and they released the game for quite a long time, and it got very popular. They kind of fixed up a few rules issues with it, streamlined the game a lot. I remember playing the game, banning that. Yeah, it is a really good community, Reno, back in that region. And then they gave up, they stopped producing for the game. And then I think a couple of years ago, NSG picked up the license for the game, or they've come to some deal. I can't exactly remember what it was, but they are now producing new content for the game. And the game is actually free to play. So you can go onto netrunner.db, which is this website here, and all of the cards are available to you. You can build decks. There's deck lists released by the community every day, and they actually have some pretty cool, like a lot of them have either talks about what the deck is doing or explanations on how they came up with the deck, what was going on. I was actually here for this particular story. I remember those cockatoos. It's pretty cool, and people talk about it. You can actually look through the cards and work out what people's decks are doing. See ya, man. Have fun playing Rum to the War. And from there, you can, you can learn the game. And there's a few different, like I say, ways to play. Nobody's joining this lobby, so we'll see how. We're just gonna chill for a bit. I'm actually gonna pour myself a glass of whiskey, and I'm just gonna have a chill one. I hope everyone is doing really well. I know it's been a while since we've been online. And I like to catch up with everybody, and like it's good to see the same faces and know that people are doing all right. So for anyone who's interested, I have just poured myself a glass of, what is this? This is the Singleton, Glendulin. I have never bought a bottle of whiskey in my life, but I have a lot of whiskey. So I guess people buy me whiskey, and this is a very nice one. There you go, Reno. I just got there. Yeah, you want to see the cat burn my house deck? Sure, we can have a quick look at that. The deck list of the week is also a very popular position to get to. This is an Issa deck. Issa is very aggressive. There's not a huge bit of explanation here. The idea is simple: sabotage every turn, play high econ events with reduced cost with Ghost Tongue, pressure only through quality runs, high quality runs through ice with Bankar and Airblades. So this is just a very quick run through. All right, team time zone. Oh, nice. We'll get a game in before your meeting ends. Nobody wants to join this game. I love it. Someone will eventually. You can see that the games are happening around us. If nobody joins, I'll bring out my Corp deck. Is it Big Hug Mug? This is my current Corp deck. Very different. The one thing I really like this game is it's totally asymmetrical. You don't even need to, Reno. You don't even need to download it. You don't even need to download this game. It's all online. But I would highly recommend playing in person over. If you check NoSignalGames.com. Let me just check I've got the right URL before I like on stream just show you all my shortcuts and stuff. It's NoSignal.games. This website here. If you come in here, I think if you go to organizers, no, I think it's players. There's getting started stuff. So there's frequent answered questions. There's learn to play, and then if you go to community, there's actually a whole directory of locations across the world where there are active play groups of Netrunner. So for instance, for those of you in Europe, you can see there's players all over. I think Danish Nats was very recent. In the United Kingdom, we've got a group in Aldershot, Brighton, Bristol, Derby, Hertfordshire, Liverpool, London, Manchester, Norwich, Oxford, Didcot, Reading, Edinburgh, Stirling, Sheffield, Taunton in Somerset. Oh, someone just subbed. Awesome. I don't think we're going to get the alert for that, though. It's a shame. But thanks, Chillstad. Thank you for subbing. So you should be able to find yourself a group that plays in your area of the world. And everyone I've encountered in this community has been very, very chill. And playing in person is so much more fun. There's a lot of bluffing in the game. There's a lot of like, kind of trying to work out what your opponent is doing. And getting it in person, I love to play against some of you. Honestly, that would be so cool. If we could get like a little jam group going, that would be awesome. Also, big Discord communities from what I understand. I think I'm in 5 Netrunner Discords. I'm not even that active in them. We'll give it a few more minutes and see if anyone joins. If they don't, I'll switch to standard and we'll play my Corp deck, which was almost undefeated at Nationals. I only lost to the guy who went on to get first place, which I think is an okay person to lose to. Now, my runner, on the other hand, I lost every single game with my runner, but my Corp did very, very well. And this is an enhanced version of it. Hey Jay, how's it going? Good to see you. Oh, T-Dog, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate that. We should get that played out in audio. If it doesn't, I will read it out for you. Let's see if it does. I hope I haven't messed that up. I didn't actually check that particular alert box. Doesn't look like it's going to get read out, which is really frustrating. But T-Dog says, wish I had more time. I would have put together a crappy Corp deck to play with you. Hope you find a game. Peace. Thank you so much, T-Dog. I really, really appreciate that. That's really cool of you. Right, come on, someone challenge me. Bring me a PE deck. The audio just didn't seem to play, which is annoying. I don't know why. If I test widgets, hang on. Let's test a super chat. I can hear the audio for it, but so that worked. So why didn't it read out T-Dogs? Can I set it to read out again, maybe? No. I'll tell you what, T-Dog. We'll do this, right? I know how to do it. I know how to try and fix this a little bit, because you should at least get your message read out. I think that's the absolute minimum. We'll do TTS. Yeah, TRM, I know. Add more time. I would have put... Anyone join them yet? Nope, nobody's joined yet. Thanks for sitting and watching, staying on the lobby screen with me. A crappy... There you go. That'll get read out. If worst,
Frostforce says, wish I had more time, I would have put together a crappy corp deck to play you. Hope you find a game. Peace.
I see what you mean about it being a woman now, T-Ram. The TTS is a lady. Oh, it just processed the super... Look at the delay on that. That was actually T-Dog's actual super chat coming through. It just took that long to come through. So we've been live for half an hour. We still haven't got a game, which is really sad. I'm disappointed in the community. I am well prepped. Not only am I well prepped with the synth music, this synth music is totally fine to play on stream and not get content ID'd for, which I put a lot of work into finding and sorting out. So we got that too. There is other synth chat I would love to play. Oh, I heard it. Did you guys not hear it? I heard the super chat audio. So what to do, Reno, is there is a format called, what's the format called? Oh, we have a corp. I will get back to you on that, Reno, but we have a game. First of all, gotta be polite. Let's see how we go. I'm gonna get wrecked. Just get this, okay? All right, so they're playing Epiphany Analytica. This is a new corporation. This is NBN. They're going to try probably and do a lot of shenanigans with the top of their deck and make sure that I'm running into traps, okay? So my starting hand here, I've got Bahaya Bands, that's pretty nice. I've got Chatuska, that's also pretty nice. I've got a Botchless, I've got an Imp. This isn't a bad starting hand. There isn't a lot of economy in here, and I would like to make sure there's some economy, so I want to take my one mulligan. Hey, Veronica. Oh, sir, Veronica was in school. Cool, okay. Hey, Veronica. Thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to mulligan that hand, and we've got to give props to Veronica. I'm actually going to give T-Rem. Could you remind me to give Veronica a ton of channel points after this game? Okay, this hand is a little bit interesting, but we're going to take it. Okay, so Veronica, first of all, there's 3 servers. Let me just let them know. Turns might be slow, as I explain in this first match. Hope that is okay. Okay, so Veronica has 3 basic servers: Research and Development, HQ, and Archives. Archives is essentially their graveyard, R&D is their whole deck, and HQ is their hand of cards. I can at any time start a run and pick any server along the top of the screen. Let me just make this bigger. That's a bit too big. Run across any card along the top of the screen. And if I get to that, this is a firewall. If I get past all of the firewalls, get in, I get to see cards there. If it's just another server, like server 1 or server 2 here, then I just get to access that card or cards that are there, and I can do things to them. Like this Wage Workers card here, top left-hand corner, it cost Veronica 2 to turn it face up. It'll cost me 4 to destroy the card, which is the number in the bottom right-hand corner. I want to destroy this card. If you have any questions on behalf of the channel, I'm happy to answer. Cool. So if anyone has questions for Veronica, they can ask them. So what Veronica did on their turn was they installed a piece of ice to protect HQ. They created 2 servers, and then they spent 2 credits out of their starting money to res. Actually, they used... I haven't get enough clicks for that. What did they do? They went... pay to install Wage Workers. Oh, okay, they used... Okay. Yeah, they used Wage Workers to install and get in. Wage Workers gave them an extra click. A click is an action. Yes. Oh yeah, we need to move chat. That is a very good point. Let's move chat to down here. And I'll make chat a little bit smaller. That's a better place to put it. Okay, so we'll talk about what Epiphany Analytica does later on in the turn. Let's talk about what I'm going to do. My starting hand here has a Fermenter, which makes me money. I have Overclocks, which give me free money while I'm running. I've got Ghost Tongue, which makes all of my events cheaper. And I have Mimic, which is one of my icebreakers, which is how I break through Veronica's firewalls. But I don't know what this firewall is until they spend money to make it active. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to install Mimic. I'm going to install Mimic, which costs me 3 credits. I'm going to install Fermenter, which will start making me some money. These are both programs, and they're using up my memory units, right? Hey, Game McCain, good to see you. Thanks, no worries. And then I'm going to use Overclock to run server 1. So I'm making I'm basically hacking into server 1. Now I want to destroy Wage Workers because it's a scary card. Normally I wouldn't be able to do that because I have no credits left. But Overclock gives me 5 credits when I run, and I can use those credits during the hack attempt, which means that when I breach this server, which means I get into it, I can spend 4 credits from Overclock, which is what I'm going to do, 3, 4 to trash this card. And then the last thing I'm going to do this turn is draw a card. So I get 4 actions a turn, basically. So this turn I installed a Mimic, I installed a Fermenter, I ran a server with Overclock, trashed a card, and then I drew a card at the end of the turn. Hopefully that makes sense. As I keep playing, things will make more sense. So at the end of my turn, Veronica paid no money to raise federal fundraising, which says, when your turn begins, you may look at the top 3 cards of R&D and arrange them in any order. Then if the server is not protected by ice, draw a card. So they get to scry 3, basically. Well, not scry, just look at the top 3, change the order, then draw a card, which is a pretty nice card that will cost you no money to raise. Hey, Harvey701, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, federal fundraising, that's what Epiphany and Analytica is all about. Okay, we've got another server protected with ice, and we've got something here. Now, this is where the bluffing game of Netrunner starts to come into play. Because, first of all, I haven't been checking R&D. There's these cards called agendas in Veronica's decks. They're worth agenda points. Whoever gets to 7 agenda points first wins. I gain agenda points by just finding those cards. They can be in their hand, they can be installed face down on one of these servers, or they can be in R&D. I've got to find the agendas. What Veronica has to do is get those agendas in a server and then spend money and clicks, which are, you know, how many actions they get per turn, to advance those agendas. And when they've each got an advancement limit, when they hit that limit, they can score them. So the question is here, do I want to get into this server or do I want to get into this server? The question is whatever is behind this piece of ice a piece of economy, or is this actually an agenda they're going to score? And kind of making these decisions is a big part of the game. Now, I have a way into pretty much any server this turn. It's a bit clunky, but I can do it. So what I'm thinking is I've got 4 clicks, and I need 2 credits to get into get into the server, basically. Now, I can spend a click to gain a credit. So I could go click, click, I go credit, credit, get 2 credits, install Botulus, which gives me a way of getting into a server. It's a little bit dangerous to just kind of do that out of nowhere. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to draw a card in case Veronica has a card called Snare, which will kill me if I run into it with less than 4 cards in my hand. And then I'm going to run R&D to see what's on top of her deck. Not really streamed it before. And I want to try and breach R&D. So I've accessed Hedge Fund. This is a card that says pay 5, get 9. And that's what's on top of Veronica's deck. That's the card they're going to draw next turn. So now I can use that knowledge for my next turn. What I'm going to do now is I've only got 2 clicks left, which is not quite as far advanced as I want to be. I could trash my Fermenter to get more cards. What I'm actually going to do, I did stream it before, but I didn't really explain what I was doing. I'm going to draw a card. That's a really cool card to see, and I'm going to gain a credit. So every turn, Fermenter gets a virus counter, and I can use a click and trash it to gain 2, trash it to destroy, and gain 2 credits for every virus counter on Fermenter. It's Federal Fundraiser. Veronica is right. Federal Fundraiser is very strong against my ID. I've got to hope that Shajuska surprise them. So now that they've got Federal Fundraising in play, they have now raised Balanced Coverage, which is like, this is a combo. Balanced Coverage says when your turn begins, you may choose a card type to look at the top of R&D. If that card is a chosen type, you may reveal it and gain 2. So basically, they'll trigger Federal Fundraising first, look at the top 3 cards of their deck. Then they'll put one of the cards on top, and they'll use Balanced Coverage to reveal that card. What they're actually doing, they're also using, they actually used their faction ability there to look at the top 3 cards of R&D and install a card as well. So this is getting a little bit nuts. I don't have the resources to deal with this many assets. This is extreme asset spam. Not extreme asset spam. This is NBN. This is the faction that they're playing is the kind of the news control NBN faction. And asset spam is the play of the day with them. And it's going to be tough for me to get back into this. I'm falling behind quite quickly. But let's see what we can do. Bahia Bands may be the answer to all of our prayers. Let's start the turn. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to trash Fermenter to gain 7 credits. That's my first click. So what I'm thinking here is I'm going to run with Bahia Bands. Now, the thing is that I know that they have prepared the top card of their deck using Federal Fundraiser. So the chance of there being an agenda here is non-existent. There's no point running R&D. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to run Federal Fundraising and trash it, and then do something with Bahia Bands at the same time. That's the plan. Now, I can install Botulus with Bahia Bands. I can also overclock a server to try something. We need to find out what these are, but the only way to do that is to run them, which could run us into a lot of problems. I feel like doing a Bahia Bands run here isn't the best, but I think what I'm going to do, I want to get rid of Balanced Coverage as well. So So let's see if we can... Honestly, my choices aren't great here. I'm going to go for a Bahia Bands run on server 2. This lets me do 2 things listed on the card if I breach. So I get to draw 2 cards, or install a card from my grip paying 1 less, or remove a tag, or get 4 credits to trash something with. I get to do 2 of those. So I'm going to breach the server. I'm going to install a card from my grip paying 1 less. And I'm going to put Botulus on this piece of ice here, which I don't think is great, but I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to place 4 for paying trash costs. And then I'm going to trash federal fundraising using Bahia Bands, which destroys the federal fundraising, which was causing me some problems. Now I'm going to draw up 1, just in case this is, what, an enemy maybe? I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to do an overclock run on server 3, which will, if I get through, will give me the cash to trash balance coverage. So they've raised ping. Ping will give me a tag, which is very bad news. So I now have a tag on me when it gets res. This is my first piece of ice. It's a barrier, and it has a strength level of 1. That's the number at the bottom left-hand corner. And it has end the run on it, which if I didn't have an icebreaker, will end the run. And this is some typical riz from a corpse. It's fine to be tagged. Nothing bad's gonna happen. I could die. What we're going to do is we're going to use Botulus as a virus counter on it. I can remove that virus counter to break the subroutine, which is the end the run bit here, to let me into the server. So I'll end the run, and I'll continue the movement. And then Veronica needs to let me into the server. I'll breach the server, and yeah, I'm dead, Jay. It is what it is. I shouldn't have run. I'm probably dead. We're going to get hit by end of the line here. So I'll pay 3 to trash, and I'll use overclock. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get shot on an iceberg in a second. What's going to happen here is I'm going to end my turn, and Veronica is going to res another balance coverage and another federal fundraising from one of these 2 cards. It's going to cost them 2 credits to do that. I could do my entire turn to try and shut that down. Also, I am tagged. Being tagged activates a lot of cards for the corp. I have been tracked down. They know where I am. They can kill me. They can destroy my assets. They can steal money from me. Thankfully, I have no assets. I have no money, but I don't have a lot of health. I have 3 cards in hand, and if I lose these cards, I'm dead. So let's see what they do. They're starting with the Maryland campaign. Maryland campaign gets them some money. Is that a little bit loud? Let's turn this down a little bit. They've scored out a Project Beal. Okay. So how did they do that? They did... So it's just installed in. So they've just scored their first agenda. It costs 3 advancement points to score out an agenda. So that basically takes 3 clicks to do it. It costs them a credit each time, which is what they did on this turn. When they've got those 3 advancement points on the agenda, they can score it, which removes it from the game. It doesn't take a click. And now they have 2 of the 7 agenda points that they need. They didn't kill me, which is something, but we really need to get back into play here. This Maryland campaign will drip feed them money every turn, 2 credits every turn, which is okay. It's not great. What I could do here is install Imp. I could run server 5. Because they've only got 3 credits right now, and this is how I try and control the game, because they can't do anything if they have no money. And I'm going to use the Imp. Imp just gives me a way to trash things for free. So I'm going to trash that. They have the opportunity to shuffle it back into their deck. I'm then going to gain a credit, and I'm going to remove the tag. I can, for 2 credits and a click, remove a tag. And then I'm going to end the turn. I have so little resources right now, but they have no way of making money at the moment, apart from spending clicks to gain credits. They're using their corp ability to install one of the top 3 cards of their deck, which is pretty nice. Interesting they've installed that into server 3, since they know I can get into server 3 very easily. They played a card called Bridge to Planogram, which lets them gain 3 credits or draw 3 cards, or both if I'm tagged. And then they've trashed a ping. Why did they trash the ping? Oh, they overwrote the ping. So what the corp can do is they can install new ice over ice that's already installed, and if there's any programs attached to the ice, it gets destroyed. So they killed my virus by installing a card over it, which now makes sense as to why they put that there. Alright, we need to stabilize this turn. They have 6 credits. What I'm going to do is draw 2 cards. This just means that Snare doesn't kill me. And I actually drew the Botulus here. If I had the money, I shouldn't have drawn the 2 cards. In fact, no, I can't undo the click. I've already got the research. Top 3 feels a little weak for Epiphany after 2 months of play. Would have liked to see maybe top 4. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Epiphany in the wild, honestly, Jay. But it's still pretty fun to play against. So what I've actually misplayed here. I shouldn't have drawn the second card. I should have stopped when I'd seen the Botulus. Because if I'd stopped when I'd seen the Botulus, I could have actually run server 3 this turn. I can't do that now. This is a Spin Doctor, by the way. It's one of the most popular cards in the game. You res it for free. It gets you draw 2 cards, and then you can trash it at any time. Like, at any time, you can remove it from the game to shuffle 2 cards from your archives back into your deck, which means if there's any agendas sitting in here, which the runner would steal for running your archives, you can just get them out of the way really quickly. It's pretty nice. All right, so we can't get in here this turn. We have 2 credits available to us. I think what I'm going to do, we could force the Spin Doctor to be destroyed. It doesn't mean losing our last. I think I'm going to run R&D and see what's on top of their deck, and we can trash whatever card is there. And we've got enough cards to protect ourselves from a snare if there is one. So I'm going to run R&D and see what they've got. I just realized how little stuff I've got out on my board right now. Okay, there is a Your Digital Life on top of the deck, which gets them a credit for every card in their hand. We're going to trash that with Imp. So Imp lets me trash any card, even if it doesn't have a trash cost. So that just throws it from the top of the deck into their archives, and now I can run R&D again and just see what's on top. There's probably nothing. They probably already sorted it. And there's a Wage Workers there. Okay, so there's no agendas. I should have been counting how many cards they were messing around with their balance coverage. No, with their federal fundraising, but I think I was past them all at that point. So they just Spin Doctored the Wage Workers and the Your Digital Life back into R&D. And then they're going to draw, which shuffled the deck, so they're not drawing a Wage Workers this turn, because it could be a different card on top of their deck. You got to keep track of how many times the corpse shuffles their deck. So they've spent a click to draw a card, and they also get to draw a card every turn for free, which I don't as the runner. I have to choose to spend a click to draw a card. They're using Epiphany again. Every time I trash a card, they get a charge on the ability to use their ability to install one of the top 3 cards of their deck, which is making things a little bit difficult for me. It's interesting that they haven't advanced and scored this card. Okay, they have 9 credits now, which is above the danger zone, I would say, for me. I'm going to draw a card. It's a sure gamble, which I would really love to play right now, but I have no credits. We're going to poke the top of R&D and just see what's there. There's probably nothing. Oh, there's a Project BO. Excellent. So we're going to steal that. We've just found it. We get to steal it. That's 2 agenda points for us. That's pretty good. Now, there's 2 choices we could do here. One of the lines we could take is to run R&D again, just in case there is another agenda on top of the deck, which is what we want to win the game. Or I could click for 2 credits. Let's be aggressive, and we're going to run R&D again just to see if there's something else there. There's an Oppo Research. This is a terrifying card to see. So this card is pay 2. If the runner stole or trashed a corp card last turn, give them 2 tags, which is exactly what happens. And 2 tags are harder to get rid of than 1 tag. That's 4 credits and 2 clicks to get rid of. This card is an additional ability. If there are 3 agenda points worth of agenda points in someone's scored area, which there isn't at the moment, it gives 4 tags instead. So that's really bad for us. We're going to gain a credit, and we're going to get prepared to get tagged, and I don't know how we're going to clear the tags. This is bad. Uh-oh. Okay, they've just gone for the advance. So they use Wage Worker to fast advance out a off-world office, which is really powerful. They now have the ability to oppo me for 4 credits as well. This is turning into a very, very bad situation. What do? We need to get rid of this Wage Workers to stop them doing that again. We can do that with Overclock. I'm thinking Overclock and then click for credits and get ready for the agendas. Get ready for the oppo. This is a weird game. I'm very much on the defensive when I shouldn't be. So yeah, we're gonna Overclock server 7. We're gonna pay 4 to trash Wage Workers using the Overclock. Get rid of that, and then we're gonna click for 3 credits. Because I need 8 credits to clear all of the tags they're about to give me. If they decide to oppo. They're using Epiphany just to dig through the deck at the moment, which is fair enough. That's probably a Wage Workers or one of the other many assets we've seen this game. That could be an agenda. We actually need to check for that. If they're not oppo, okay, there's the oppo. Okay, I have 2 choices now. I either try to clear the tags, or I just say, whatever, let's just play tag me. I'm in such a bad position that I think I just say tag me. And, like, we'll just see what happens. Let's see if there's an agenda here behind this piece of ice. So what we're going to do is we're going to install Botulus here. And we're going to run server 3. But we're going to draw... if this is a Cypher, it'll do 2 damage to me. I'm going to draw a card before I run, and now I'm going to run. Which I should have done this the other order because I could have played the cookbook, but whatever. Cookbook lets me put an extra virus counter on things when I install them. It's very good. Okay, they didn't res, which makes me even more scared. This is probably a trap, but we're gonna hit it just to see what happens. It's actually a freedom of information. Okay, so this card gets cheaper to score for every tag I have. We're gonna steal it. Why didn't they just score and steal it? I think they could have just scored that last turn. I think you could have just scored that. Because I had 4 tags on it. It cost 1 less. I know. I wish I could play this gamble so badly. Okay. Apparently they couldn't. I thought they could. Oh, Oppo. Ah. Of course, Oppo ends the turn. Got that close. That's right. They could have scored it, but Oppo clear. When you play Oppo, it instantly ends your turn. So there's no scoring windows for them to score the freedom of information, which would have been free for them to score. So I'm on 4 agenda points. They're on 4 agenda points. I'm kind of keeping parity, but I'm struggling. They're down to 3 credits as well. We're going to try and get this Sure Gamble played. That's the next big goal for us. Okay, let's start our turn, and let's credit, 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 Sure Gamble. We now have 9 credits, which gives us something to do. This has been a struggle game. It's been quite fun. Okay, they've got a Federal Fundraising, which is going to keep sorting the top 3 cards of their deck again. So what they can do, right, is they can use Federal Fundraising to put an agenda as the 3rd card down, which means I'll never really get access to it. And then they use Epiphany Analytica's ability to go and get the 3rd card and install it, which means there's no opportunity for me to steal it from their hand or from R&D. Makes it really, really tough. They just set up server 10, just like that, and now there's something in server 3. Interesting. They just installed it into server 3. That's probably going to be an econ card, I would assume. Alright, the question is, do I clear 4 tags this turn? That's the question. Do I clear the 4 tags and just use up all of my money? The cruel thing that happens here is I clear the 4 tags and they just 4 tag me again. I don't think I'm going to clear the tags. Okay, I can't play the twinning, sadly, because it's a resource. So while I'm tagged, any card with a card type resource, the corp can trash it for 2 credits at any time. A Katoga Breakout is interesting, though. I could go and get a Botulus, or I could go get a Bahia Bands. Or I could get the, I get the Sure Gamble back and make more money. I think it's either Sure Gamble or it's Botulus right now. I think it's Botulus to get into R&D, even though I can't. Or maybe it's Botulus to get into HQ. I bet HQ is loaded. Yeah, we're going to Kartoga Archives, because I don't want to... No, we're going to Kartoga the Federal Fundraising, which is in server 9. This lets me get a card back from my graveyard, and we're going to get back Botulus. And then we're also going to trash the Federal Fundraising. Yeah, that's right. It's a turbo operation, so I can't score. Starlight Night is a huge problem, and I'm very scared of it. I do also have a Hush. So the Hush stops the on-res, and basically any text on a piece of ice. We're probably going to install that next turn. For this turn, I'm going to gain a credit. Yeah, let's get a credit and end the turn. We have to play this really carefully. Okay, it's another Maryland campaign, so they're really bringing in the cash now. They didn't res whatever's in server 3, which is fascinating. There's also something face down in Archives that they've trashed. I don't know what it is. That's why there's a face down card here. What are they playing? Shipment from Vladibrisk. Ah, yes, that is a concern. And that's a free score of tomorrow's headline for them. Okay, let's be tagged again. So Shipment from Vladibrisk, so they can only play it if I'm tagged, and lets them put 4 advancement counters on something. It's a very quick way to win the game. All right, they're basically saying stay out of R&D. This is not looking very good for us. It's looking very, very bad. I'm going to have to take some risks this turn. I'm going to... Is it worth cookbooking? That's a click. I don't think I can afford to install the cookbook. I think I need to draw into something like a Bahia Bands. So we're going to draw 2 cards. There's a Steel Skin that doesn't help us. And a Bahia Bands. Okay. We're going to Botulus the HQ. We're going to Bahia Bands into HQ. I think that's what we're going to do. This is really risky. This is probably GG. Bahia Bands gives us a few options when we get in. They haven't res the ice. Okay. So my Eco and Pressure deck that was all about ice resing pressure basically did nothing this game. We're going to Breach. That gets me things from Bahia Bands. What I'm going to do with Bahia Bands is I'm going to draw 2 cards. And then I'm going to install a card from the grip paying 1 less. And I can't install the Twinning because they can trash resources. I can't install Cookbook because it can trash resources. I can install Ghost Tongue, which if this game continues isn't a bad idea. There's not really anything else to pick here. Earthrights Hotel, which draws me cards, is also a resource which they can trash right now. So I'm going to install the Ghost Tongue, which does 1 core damage to me. That forces me to discard a card at random. The card it picks is Strike Fund. When Strike Fund is discarded, I can choose to gain 2 credits. I will do that. I access the Spin Doctor. I'm not going to trash it. And that is the end of my turn, and they probably won the game. Discard under 4 cards. We'll discard the Cookbook. So that Maryland campaign just died. They chose not to shuffle. They did shuffle it back into the deck, okay. Alright, Reno, it'll be on the 2nd channel, just FYI, but thanks for hanging out. Alright. Another 2 servers installed. I honestly don't know what to do. I'm really struggling to get anywhere with this game. This Epiphany has me in a really bad position. I'm going to draw 1 card. It's a Buzzsaw, which is my Code Gate Breaker. We may as well get that on the board if we can. Money is just such a big problem. I wonder if I need Liberated Account in the deck. I was indeed in the party bus. Yes, Jay. Let's get a credit. And let's drop a Buzzsaw. I will trash the Imp. I only have enough memory units to have these 4 programs installed, so I have to get rid of the Imp. And then we're going to get a credit and end the turn. I think this game is over. They don't have any bad publicity yet. If a corp has bad publicity, it's basically a free credit every time I run. It's kind of a curb on the corp doing too many crazy things. There's another corp called Wayland, who are very heavily themed off Wayland Yutani from Alien, and they are the ones that generate the most bad pub, because they do things like blow up apartment buildings and just take over companies. I'm actually surprised that Veronica has not won yet. They have a lot of tools at their disposal. I think next turn we're just going to try and ram ourselves into HQ. That's very interesting with the triple ice in front of R&D. Very interesting. All right, we are going in. We're going to draw 1 card just to protect. Oh, it's a Fermenter. Okay. This is an advancement counter on it as well. What's the bet? This is like a clearinghouse. It kind of is Chaos Space 392, but they couldn't like license that. What's the bet? This is a cipher. I was saying, is that a trap in S3? They've advanced this card. So advancements are generally for agendas, but they're also for traps. And if you run into something like this, and you can't just die. The one problem that I think Veronica has is if we look at what they've scored so far, 2 Beals are gone. They must have more off-road offices, which take 4 advancement counters to win the gate, to score out, which takes 2 turns. It was advanced from Shipman. It's not even necessarily an advanceable card. You know what? I'm gonna run it and find out what it is. Let's just see what it is. We're gonna install the Fermenter in case we live. We're gonna. Oh no! Let's not do that. We're not going to install the Fermenter. We're gonna run this, and then if it's nothing, we'll install the Fermenter. Let's run server 3. Oh, it might be Drago, which is like even worse. So I just got pinged for 6 tags. I don't care. We'll use a virus counter to break the end of the run super team. We'll continue our run. We're gonna hit Drago here. Do I even want to hit Drago? We're going to breach and find out if it's Drago. It is Drago. I'm not even going to pay to trash him. I'm going to disrespect Drago that much. Drago is a disgusting card. He basically just says when you hit him, when he's rezzed, he just gives out tags. It's horrible. We're going to play the Fermenter and draw a card. No, I'm thinking of what's the other card? The other Drago. There's one that gives out. It's got advancement tokens and it gives out tags on access, and then we'll gain a credit and end the turn. I think we just need to. What we need to do is we need to mine HQ. Okay, the Maryland campaign is giving them 2. They played a predictive, which draws them 3 cards and gains them 3 credits. The HQ is definitely going to have a lot of agendas in it. Check a Scion. Thank you, Jay. That is the card I'm thinking of. And that is a shipment, and that should be a win. There's the win. So a big deal for 8 agenda points. Boom. Okay, I got smashed in that game. That was not a great game for me, but Veronica played it very, very well. Yeah. I need ways to trash stuff easily. I kind of need pinhole threadings as well. This is kind of why we're working on this deck. I don't think it'll let Loop appear, but there's another ID who's very similar. Yeah, this guy here, Loop Party Animal. He gives you a credit and draws you a card the first time you trash something every turn, which is great. And yes, well done, Veronica. What I remember, I don't think Veronica's back in the stream yet. I will give you a ton of channel points for stepping up. Cool. That was our first game, and it was a complete and total loss, which is a great start. Let me just give Veronica those points. If I can even find, I think I can search for Veronica. There they are, and we will. They've got 12 points. Let's just change that. They now have 250 points. Hey, Reno, how's it going? I actually have a small area in Discord for this, but we could do that. No, Veronica, thank you so much. I really appreciate you stepping up to play. All right. So let's think about what the deck did and didn't do well there. Well, yeah, GG Veronica, thank you so much. Where did the deck fall over? The deck fell over really badly on money. And I think part of that was me being very aggressive at the start by spending too much on overclocks to get in and trash stuff. The card that I'm missing, yeah, I was very, very aggressive, Veronica. You were completely right, and I was kind of talking about that at the time. I think the card I'm missing is a card called yeah, Slipstream Steve. I could bring Slipstream Steve out. This is the hot meta with Hannah Wheels Hannah to slipstream from a remote server into a core server, into a central, at clickless, to get the deep dives off. But we're not. That's the standard deck. We're looking at startup decks. So I'm thinking. My current thought is I'm actually thinking about dumping the overclocks, finding a little bit more room, and adding in 2 or 3 liberated accounts because I really needed some cash. I don't have Wildcat. A lot of other people have been telling me that Wildcat is just bad. I quite like making the corp, forcing the corp to make decisions. Wildcat could be fun to play with. I don't actually think I've got this deck list saved on Netrunner DB at the moment. Because I don't think this is the right version. Yeah, this is okay. This is the right version. Let's slot in some Wildcats then. Wildcat. So Wildcat's quite fun. It basically costs 2, and the corp has to decide to either give you 6 credits and 4. I've got 2 pads, Jai. All right, I've got 2 prepaid voice pads for the twinning. So I think I could even slot in 3 Wildcats. I want to take out the overclocks. Let's just back up to 54 cards. I'd like to get a bit lower than 54 if I'm being totally honest. I don't want to get rid of the Xanadu because it's funny. The twinning is how I get my win by multi-access. The no free lunches are mostly used for free cash, honestly, when they come up, but they do remove tags. Ice Carver, I kind of in it for Mimic. With Ice Carver and Mimic, the only thing I can't break through is an Archer that is kind of common. Authorized Hotel draws me cards. Cookbook gives me virus counters. Augustina is kind of like a little bit of secret tech that we could probably get rid of, but she sabotages. She forces the corp to discard a card or trash a card every time I install a virus. It's not huge, but it's something. It's very sus, Jai. I had 2 of each earlier, but then I was up to like 60 cards. Basically, I'm too greedy on events. I need to get rid of some events, but I don't count Strike Fund really as anything more than just trash. Bans, I've had some crazy plays before where I've had Hermes in play and like I've done it, or I've got installed bans on the run with I've installed Hermes on the run with bans, stolen an agenda and bounced something. I really need to get down to 45. That's the point of the stream. I could probably trim down to 2 Botulis. I need to make some... Okay, we're going to get rid of Augustina. We're going to get rid of Cookbook. We're going to get rid of Xanadu. Oops. And Ice Carver. I need... Okay, let's look at it. I want 3 Bahia Bands. I could maybe get away with 2 Chashtuskas. 2 Kotoga Breakouts. These are here because I'm running 1 of each of the Icebreakers. Sure, let's cut a Fermenter. Let's down to 47. Steelskins are staying because I have been running into a lot of end-of-the-line decks and Mindscaping kill decks. Strike Funds, I would like to keep if I can. Sure, Gambles are staying. The Price is staying. Tread Lightly is staying. Wildcat Strike is a new bring in. Airblades are essential if we can get them out. Honestly, Ghost Tongue is very close to coming out. Ghost Tongue is very, very close to coming out because I have 2 prepaid voice pads. So Ghost Tongue makes all of my events cost 1 less. Prepaid also gives me free money to play my events. I agree with everything both of you are saying. Also, please, anyone else in chat, feel free to ask questions. Also, let me just change my collection to a startup collection just so that we're not looking at cards that don't exist. Let's just take a break and let's try the 47 card version and come back after we've run a game or 2 with it to see how it feels. And going in without the liberated accounts, I think, is interesting. So just to bring a card into Jiteki, I just need to click on this bit here where I've saved it, copy all of this. Well, that's what I'm thinking, Veronica. I'm just jumping back and forth between the 2. Paste this in, and now I've got the deck updated. All right, let's see if anyone else will play us. So new game, Froze's game. I need to just go, whoops. Live. And then we need to add in the YouTube link, which I've got in this notepad document. Let's see if we'll get someone else to play us. We'll go runner, startup. If I lose this game, what we're going to do is we're going to switch and maybe play a standard game as my corp. I'm totally happy to play against you, Veronica. I'd like to see if somebody else joins. Should we give it like 5 minutes? If nobody joins, you can jump in. Otherwise, I'm more than happy for you to jump in. Let's create the lobby. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to set up a vote. A bet, sorry. So we're going to bet on first winning. Option 1, first wins. Option 2, first loses. All right. If you want to join the bet on whether I win or lose, feel free. There will be a paid on channel points. You can spend them to spam me with voice lines. Let's see if anyone wants to play. This is quite fun, actually, just having some whiskey, playing some Netrunner. I am having a good time. I hope everyone else is chill. I'm back in the synth wave too. This is just a good time. How do I join the bet? So to join, you type an exclamation mark bet, and then either 0 for me winning or 1 for the other person winning, and then a space and the amount. Ah, we've got someone in. Awesome. All right, we're going to play up against Super Stranger. I think the minimum bet is 10. So you'd be bet, like if you want the other person to win, it would be bet 110. Or maybe bet 100. Just Just bear with me if turns are slow. All right, they're on another NBN Corp. So every time, first time each turn the runner takes a tag, they get to gain 2 credits or draw 2 cards. My opening hand here is Sure Gamble, the Price, Buzzsaw. This is a pretty nice opening hand. We're going to keep this. I'm going to start the game. And we're going to set up a little bit before we go in. It's another NBN, yeah. NBN are all about tagging and messing around with the runner. So they're protecting HQ, they're playing, so we've got Hedge Fund, Install, and draw a card. Okay, so R&D is open. That's usually indicative of there being traps in R&D. There's 2 traps to watch out for. One is called Behold, and one is called Snare. They're both really bad times for us. I'm not going to take the bait this first turn. We're going to set up. So I'm going to play the Sure Gamble to gain 9 credits. Then I'm going to pay the Price to see what I flip up. So the Price is just flipped up the top cards of my deck. One of those cards that it flipped up was Steelskin Scarring, which lets me draw 2 cards for free. Okay, I've got 2 choices. Well, I've actually got 1 choice here, which is no free lunch. So we're going to install no free lunch. Yes. Now I can't Chastuska my opponent. I could be cheeky and Botulus this and run. I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I think what I'm going to do is install Earthrise and install Prepaid, and that's going to be my turn for turn 1. So Earthrise will draw me 2 cards every turn until it runs out of counters, which is over. It's going to draw me 6 cards over 3 turns. Prepaid just gives me a free money to use every turn to play an event, which is nice for getting me set up. No free lunch. I can trash it at any time to either gain 3 credits or remove a tag. And as you can see, here come the assets. So they went draw a card, asset, asset. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm excited because we've got some stuff happening here. I have Hermes, which is my console. Whenever an agenda is scored or stolen, I get to put an unresed card back in HQ. This is pretty big for me. I also have Bahia Bands. I can use Bahia Bands to install Hermes while I'm running, which is pretty nice. So Bahia Bands will cost me 1 to play because I have the prepaid voice card, and then I'll be able to install Hermes for 1 less, which means I can install Hermes for... I can basically play both of these cards, which normally cost 4 for 1. I think I'm going to do that right now. We're going to run R&D. So I'm going to play Bahia Bands, and we're going to use prepaid voice pad to pay 1 of the credits for that. We're going to run R&D, and we're going to breach the server. That lets me do some stuff here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 cards. That got me a Solidarity Badge and a Hush, which are both pretty cool. We'll talk about them later. Then I'm going to install a card from the grip paying 1 less, and we're going to pick Hermes. That got me a Hermes on the table. We see a Spin Doctor. That kind of sucks. We're going to spend the rest of our turn just clicking for credits. Okay. Getting Hermes on the board this early is very, very big for us, because every time he scores an agenda, I'm going to put cards back. Ooh. This is Regolith Mining License. This is just money. This is just pure gas. No, it didn't, Veronica. I didn't want to announce it in GLC, but I'm happy for someone else to. I don't like to toot my horn that much. Unless someone else has announced it in GLC. All right, what are we doing here? We've got Solidarity, we've got Hush, we've got Chatuska, we've got Botulus Buzzsaw. I think the play this turn... I want to trash out the Regolith. What do we draw? Steelskin and Fermenter. Getting a Fermenter on the board is a priority. That's one of our clicks. I would like to Chatuska HQ. To do that, I would need to play the Botulus. We also need to get the Buzzsaw on the board at some point. Thank you so much. Thinking. We've also got the Hush. Hush just gets in the way of a lot of nasty things happening when ice flips up. They've also got these 2. I would also like to get rid of the Regolith Mining License because they're harvesting a lot of money from it. So what I've got to think about here is how aggressive am I going to be? And I'm thinking I'm kind of going to be aggressive. If we install the Solidarity Badge, that might be quite useful as this game goes on for clearing tags. So what I'm thinking is Solidarity Badge, Botulus, Chatuska. I don't have enough for that this turn. So we're probably going to go Solidarity Badge, Fermenter, gain a credit. Kind of miscounted that slightly. Because I could actually play Chatuska for... I could Chatuska now, but I can't get through this ice. I think I'm going to run R&D last click, which is probably a huge mistake. Oh, that's a free steal. So this is a funny one because he's going to take it back. This actually, yeah, sucks. When I steal this agenda, I get a tag. He can spend a click and remove a tag to take it out of my scored agenda pool and put it back in his hand. All right. And then, oh, I got to put a card back as well. That's actually quite fun. Do I want to put this ice back in his hand, or do I want to put one of these back in his hand? Let's put the ice back in his hand just to, like, mess around with him a little bit. And now I've been tagged, so he gets to gain 2 credits. Yeah, okay. I can remove the tag. I can't even remove the tag yet. This could be really bad. I could lose Earthrise. I could lose... Actually, the only thing I can lose here is no free... Oh, hang on. Ah, missed my trigger. So I could have stopped that from happening with my no free lunch, but whatever. I missed my trigger. I forgot I had a no free lunch. I could have kept that agenda. Oh, he's being very, very nice and let me do it. Thank you. Okay, he's letting me take it back, which is very nice of him. So, I've got the agenda point, and then before I pass the turn, I remove the tag, which means he can't steal this back. There we go. That's why we have no free lunch in the deck. So I can get rid of tags without spending a click and 2 credits. So what this does is if I have a tag, he can spend a click, clear the tag, and put this back in his deck. So I actually had the tech to stop it and I didn't realize. Alright, he's spammed out some more assets. He has not used his regolith, which is very fascinating. He's reinstalled and he's left HQ open. He's gonna get punched in the face this turn. I feel really bad about it because he's been really nice to me this game, but we're gonna Chastuska him this turn. So Chastuska, punch him in the face, force him to either discard 4 cards, or for every card he chooses not to discard, he has to rip cards off the top of his deck and put them in archives. It's a very mean card. I feel bad, but it's not going to stop me from using it. We also have a Wildcat Strike, which is pretty funny because he'll make me draw 4 cards here, for sure. I think click 1 is Chastuska HQ and see what happens. We've got just enough money to make it happen. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, we're going to sabotage 4. Let's use our prepaid to pay for 1 of that, and we're going to breach and sabotage 4. Let's see how many cards he discards from HQ. So he sabotaged 2 cards from HQ and put 2 cards in archives. I'm now certain that one of these cards is a Spin Doctor. And what's going to happen is when I run archives, he's going to flip that Spin Doctor up and get the agendas out of his archives, which sucks for us. Hey, Z Blue, how's it going? Okay, so we're going to run the archives. He's going to res Spin Doctor, but let's make him use it. I do need more. I'm not going to Wildcat Strike this turn anyway. Okay, there is actually a Project Beal in here, so he doesn't have the Spin Doctor. So we're going to steal the Project Beal. What's going to happen then is Hermes is going to trigger. Hermes, oh my god, we also got a snare. This is going great. We're going to bounce his ice back into his hand with Hermes. We're then going to run R&D and just see what's on top of R&D. And there's a shipment from Vladimirisk, which is terrifying. We now need to just spend our last click. I can't trash anything. I could poke HQ just to see if something's in there. I think it's a bit risky. I think we've gone away with enough this turn. We're going to gain a credit. We're going to end the turn. And we're probably going to dump to our bin. It's pretty awkward. I don't want to get rid of Botulus. I don't want to get rid of Buzzsaw. I don't want to get rid of Hush. I don't want to get rid of Steel Skin. I don't want to get rid of Imp or Wildcat. If I discard Steel Skin, I don't get the card draw, do I? I don't like this decision. Ugh. I want to dump the Hush, and I'm going to regret it. If I'm dumping the Hush, by the way, that makes it quite likely that I'm going to cut Hush from the deck. Okay, so he just clicked down and scored a Beal. Which lets me put another card back in his hand. Let's put the one in server 4 back in his hand. And this is why Hermes is cool. This is why I was so excited about getting Hermes out on turn 1. Because it's already done so much disruption to his game plan. Alright. Our fermenter is on 3. Normally, when I see corpse, especially corpse in a situation like this, there's a good chance that they will purge virus counters on their turn, which takes our entire turn, and I'll lose my fermenter counters. So I'm probably going to pop this turn. That gets me 7 credits. Now, Imp is a good card to play here. So I'm going to play the Imp. I'm going to run R&D. We'll trash whatever we hit in R&D, and then we'll run R&D again. We're just going to try and pressure him. So let's run R&D. This will also get us a counter here. We're going to Imp away. If I play Wildcat, I'm thinking he'll give me the cards, honestly. But I like what you're thinking, is I'll get the Econ. Let's play Wildcat with our last click. And we'll actually get that for free as well. So he now either gives us 4 cards or he gives us 6 credits. He gave us the 4 cards. That's fine. Because what's going to happen here is we're going to discard the price, which will get us 2 credits. And we'll discard another Wildcat. Oh, I didn't get trashed. That was dumb. Yeah, I should have played it earlier. That's okay. This is why I am also trying to get better at the game. Should have discarded the Wait, did I just discard a price? Oh, I thought this was Strike Fund. That's why I discarded it. I should not have discarded the price. That's the best card in my deck. All right, so set up 2 new servers. I'm thinking Botulus Chastuska this turn. We need 4 credits to check Botulus Chastuska, so that's what we're gonna do. I'm going to leave. No, I'm going to draw a card of Solidarity Badge. It gives me a Kartuga Breakout. Cool. So, the puppy wants out, which is great timing. I need to let her out really quickly. Let me just quickly get this turn played out. Yeah, that's a good shout, Veronica. I misplayed the Kartuga really badly there. So I need 2 credits for this, 2 credits for this. So I'm going to Botulus this, and then I'm going to Chastuska HQ. And it's a magnet. Okay, so that messes me up. I can't do anything about that. And then I'm going to probably just click for 2 credits. And then I'm going to let the puppy out. I will be right back. She just needs to go to the bathroom. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. She just needed to go to the bathroom. So the tempo of the game is starting to swing here, and I actually messed up because the hush that I discarded a couple of turns ago defeats the magnet. The magnet stops any cards that are installed on it from doing anything, so it's the perfect counter to the Botulus. Oh, right, unrest card. We'll put this card back in his hand. Sorry, I didn't realize you were waiting on the trigger. Okay, puppy's going back to bed. Let's go. I need to be very careful here because this is a swing point in the game where I could lose control of the tempo. And I am kind of letting it slip away from me right now with him scoring a post-truth dividend. Interesting card. I have not seen a lot of people playing post-truth dividend before. This is an agenda I've not seen very much of. Very similar to Elvigar. Elvigar kind of works quite well because it has stuff that goes with it, but post-truth I've not seen a lot of. But I don't know a lot about the game, so... the question is, what do we do this turn? We've got a few options available to us. We could Steel Skin to draw 3 cards for free. We could Kartuga break out his archives to see what's in there and get back something. Also replay an Imp. I wonder if we get back the Hush and then we can get into his HQ, because the Hush then overwrites the magnet. There's quite a few choices available to us here. Also, we've lost all 3 of our prices. I can't believe I discarded that price. That was so stupid. We could also just go aggressive and get a Bahia Bands back. But that doesn't really get us much. It might be time to set up our standard breakers as well. We need a barrier. Actually, we do have Buzzsaw here. That gets us through his magnet. We can start plaguing his hand. I wonder if we just get Buzzsaw on the table. This is strength 3. Buzzsaw is strength 3. So it costs us 1 credit to get in. Raindrops Cut Stone is another good one. So is Bankar, honestly, is another good option. I'm thinking we will probably just play Buzzsaw this turn. Let's play Buzzsaw. And we'll gain a credit for our last click and end the turn. And that gets us through his magnets. He's only on 3 agenda points, and we're only on 3 agenda points, so we have a little bit of time. Okay, there, he's just completed his regolith. He has 5 cards in hand, which is interesting. Do you know what I'm thinking we do right now? I'm thinking we Kartoga back a Wildcat Strike. I think that might be the play. We Kartoga his HQ. I can get through the magnet with 1 credit on Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw's strength 3. It's got pay 1 to break up to 2 Kogate subroutines. And then I play the Wildcat, and he either gives me the cards or gives me the credits. I think that's the play. I need 1 credit to make this work. So we're going to use prepaid to get 1 credit back. We're going to run his HQ. We're going to encounter the ice. And then we'll spend 1 credit on Buzzsaw to break the end the run subroutine on Magnet. He just popped a Spin Doctor to draw cards, which means he has agendas in his hand. I'm mostly playing Startup Izzy because there is going to be a Startup tournament at PAX Oz, which I'm going to next week, and I want to have a fun runner deck to take with me. And I thought Reyna with Hermes might be quite good fun. Yeah, Endurance is legal, and I basically don't want to bring Boat. Okay, let's Breach. 1 card to get back. I'm thinking about Wildcat Strike. Or do we just get a Fermenter back? Because I can play the Fermenter this turn. Let's get the Fermenter back. I'm going to trash that. And then we'll gain a credit and we'll play the Fermenter and we'll end the turn. Drago is also legal at Startup, yeah. The gentleman's agreement not to play boat. For those of you who don't play Netrunner, there is a card called Endurance, which is a very big boat, and it just cleaves through servers. It's very, very powerful. It is banned in Standard, but Startup doesn't have a ban list. I'm not playing that card. Colloquially, it is referred to as boat. This is a very nice whiskey I'm drinking. All right, so they've said you're not getting into HQ. I'm starting to think that these are interesting cards that we need to start face checking, honestly. So we're going to draw a card off our Solidarity Badge because I trashed a card last turn. So we'll draw 1 card. That's our Cleaver, which is another one of our standard breakers, which is nice to see. I think I'm going to play the Steel Skin to draw 3 cards. Cost me nothing. Okay, cool. Now, how much MU are we at? We've got 2 MU available. So I'm thinking we're going to install another Fermenter. And I maybe want to check some of these servers. He doesn't really have anywhere to score safely. I'm totally happy to try lists out as well on stream. Yeah, I could totally do that. I've been working on this deck for a little while, but I can tell, you can tell it's not great. You saw my excitement when I got the Hermes trigger to play out, though. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to gain a credit. I'm going to play the second Fermenter. So that's out of there. We're gaining some cash. And then I'm quite tempted to run server 8 or server 7. I was thinking about Audrey Loop, but I got made fun of a little bit for thinking about Audrey, which is a very fun virus breaker, but it's an AI. Hortum is very popular at the moment. I'm thinking about what to do with this last click. Basically, the coward's way out is to gain a credit. A true hero, a true freedom fighter would run a server. I am going to run archives and find out what's in there. Just to clear it out, keep them honest. You see, there's something in archives. So that forced them to use a Spin Doctor. Better than running the Spin Doctor and the run failing. Not really. Okay. So what is actually in archives? We've got shipment, hedge fund, regolith, hedge fund. So just all basically cash. Can't win a war on empty stomach is true. We're going to trash the 3 counter fermenter on our turn. That'll get our cleaver into play. And we're going to start changing the game state from kind of like face checking and running randomly to having the breaker suite that will actually let us run. So they just hedge fund. They've got so much money. And they've installed a card in server 9, but they don't have any ice. In fact, what ice have we seen apart from Magnet? Did we see ping earlier? Or was that the game before? I think it was the game before we saw the ping. Alright, so they installed 2 new servers, which is tough for me to keep on top of, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm thinking, we trash this. This will give us 6 credits. We can use those 6 credits to install Cleaver. We could also steal skin before that and get some more options. So let's trash this. Because if we leave that with 4 on it, he's going to purge virus counters. We'll play the steel skin for free. Okay. Oh, tread lightly. Doesn't do much here, but it would have been good earlier. You see, here's the problem is I don't feel incentivized to play Ghost Tongue with the pad campaign in play. So I think the Ghost Tongue honestly needs to get cut from the deck. Bahia Bands is quite good here. Because we could install Cleaver on the run for 1 less. While doing something else. The other option is we run R&D and kind of hope that we've got enough breakers to do something with it. Also, getting an imp down would be nice. We're going to run last click. This could go badly. We're going to drop an imp to replace... Oh, wait, we haven't got the MU. No, we do have the MU. We're going to drop an imp. We're going to Bahia Bands server 9. And we're going to see what we encounter. Before this happens, I'm going to draw 2 cards, just in case this is a nasty trap. And then I'm going to install a card from my grip, and it's going to be Cleaver. And then I'm going to... Oh, it's a Drago. We're going to trash Drago with an imp counter. So this is the bad man. This is the very bad man that people were talking about in chat before. Every 2 advancement tokens on him gives the runner a tag when he gets rezzed, which is for free, which is very nasty. So we got rid of him, which is good. Okay, he just rezzed another regolith, so we're never, ever, ever, ever draining this corp of money, and he just oppoed us. Okay, so we've got 4 tags. Ugh. Well, that was very rude. And I don't know how... I can clear 3 tags this turn from what I'm seeing. No, I think I can clear all the tags, because Solidarity Badge can clear a tag. So that's one of our tags. Then I can play and trash No Free Lunch to clear a tag. That leaves me with 3 clicks. Yeah, we can clear all the tags this turn. It just means that's what we're doing. So we'll play No Free Lunch. We'll trash that to remove a tag. And then I'm going to clear this, and we'll remove 2 tags. Okay, so we cleared the 4 tags from Oppo. Kind of sucks that I had to spend my entire turn doing that. He's probably going to Oppo us again. Like, honestly, that's the crushing play, is the double Oppo. Okay. Double advance. Just naked install double advance. There is no way that is an agenda. No way is that an agenda. Come on. Let's start with the Wildcat and see what he gives us. We're down to 14 cards in our deck. Okay, he gave us the cards. What else? Oh, I can't get Oppo because I haven't stolen anything. That's right, I haven't trashed a card. I need to trash something for Oppo to trigger. So, I think the goal is to get this hedge fund. Played this turn and get some cash back on the table. What if this is a clearinghouse? Let's play the strike fund. That gets me to 4 credits. We'll gain a credit. We'll play the hedge fund. And we'll end the turn. Yeah, that's exactly what I did, which I'm glad to see that that's what you suggested. This is turning into a bit of a... Okay, he's still advancing it. What if it is an agenda? What if he's just raw dogging a Beal? Okay. There are 2 cards this could be. It could be a clearinghouse. When you res a clearinghouse, which you can only do at the start of your turn, it does 1 damage for each advancement token. It could also be a Cipher. The Cipher does 2 damage plus 1 for every token on it when you access it. The problem is if I call their bluff and run it expecting it to be a clearinghouse and it's a Cipher, I'm dead. So Cipher at this will do what? It will do 6 damage. So I need 6 cards in hand to make this run. So that's what we'll do. We'll draw up to 6. Chegus would be bad, yeah. I've drawn up to 6 cards. If this is a cipher, we'll lose our entire hand, but we won't die. Now you've got me panicking that it's a checklist. Here's the thing, right? I haven't seen anything off faction yet. The only off faction card I've seen is 1 magnet. If he has 3 magnets, that's 3 influence he's spent on 3 magnets, right? This corporation has 15 influence to spend on cards outside of faction. I wish I had to light the fire. So, if this is... if I was playing this NBN faction, I would be bringing in cards that take advantage of tags. So I'd have End the Line. If they brought in End the Line, that still leaves them with quite a lot of influence free. So, if this is a cipher, I live, but I lose 6 cards. If this is a clearinghouse, I have to get rid of it because it's going to kill me. If it's a Checkers Scion, things are going to be very bad. I think I run it last click. I've got the imp counter. Is there anything else I can do this turn? Let's check what he's got in archives. There's a snare there. So he has subbed in snares. That's the second snare I've seen. So what? 6 influence for snares, 3 influences for magnets. Let's say he's playing 3 of each. Does Clearinghouse have a max? Because you could just keep advancing the Clearinghouse. Hey, Mishaps, how's it going? Yeah, it's really bad if that happens, many of the Mishaps. The other problem is if I trash this card, he could oppo me. It's quite a tough, it's a really tough quandary he's given me. Look, we've got Mimic. I'm going to run HQ, I think. I think I've got the cash for it. Let's see what he's got in HQ. Have I got enough money? What could he res? Pretty much a lot of scary things. Let's see what... Last click run. Am I a coward? Am I just going to get a credit? I want to run HQ. So I've got 3 breakers now. My buzzsaw... Okay, this is a Starlit Knight, which is kind of the worst thing we could have hit. The good news is its threat 4 isn't active. So it doesn't have... It just has 2 end the runs. Sorry, it has 2 give the runner 1 tags. It is a sentry. We've got our sentry breaker here. For 2 credits, we just don't... Nothing bad happens. I'll continue to the magnet. I'll encounter the magnet. I'll pay 1 on... my buzzsaw to break the magnet so it can't stop me from getting in. So using my hacking tools to hack into the servers, and we'll breach HQ. Okay, so we have spent influence on Funuricha. That's a bit scary. We're not going to trash that, because if we trash that, we get oppoed. Let's see what... It was a Beal. He was just... Oh, I should have run it. He was just... He was just advancing a Beal. Just hand me... We thought it was a checklist, it was a Beal. So Beal gives you extra agenda points for if you overscore it. Who voted on me losing? Because... Oh wait, I need to set the pick winner. There you go. Everyone that bet on... So Amy, Mason, and Veronica, you got some money for betting on me losing. Thank you. That Beal. Just that's the mind games of Netrunner, is just the blind install Beal and put 7 counters on it and expect the runner to never check it. Oh, that's embarrassing. That was a fun game because I got that Hermes out early and I thought I was doing a lot with it, but we then ended up in a situation where nothing kind of happened. Okay, let's jump out of here and decide what we're doing next. I want to put it up to a poll because I want to see what people are actually interested in seeing. So let's do a poll. So voting on what we play next. Another arena game. Standard Corp. Thanks, Veronica. One of Veronica's lists. And everyone can vote on this. So if you want to vote, all you need to do is type in vote and the number. So if you put 0, I'll play another arena game. If you put 1, I'll play a game as a corp to show you how that plays out. And if you put 2, I'll try one of the lists Veronica has posted. I'll leave this up for a couple seconds while I have some whiskey. So this will be the corp deck that I played at Nationals. That the only person that it lost to is the person who's now #1 in Australia. No, just a small. It's not that great, but all corps did pretty well. But it's what I will play that. Well, it's not. I'm not going to play that deck. I'm going to play the updated version of that. Alternatively, I have not managed to make Slipstream Steve work once. Look. Slipstream Steve is on 0 wins, 5 losses. Okay, we're not playing Slipstream Steve. Okay, cool. Well, we could do that then. We've got 2 votes for Standard Corp, and I don't think doesn't look like we're going to get any other votes. All right, Amy, thank you so much for hanging out. It was good to see you. Congratulations on your points for not believing. Okay, I'm going to call the vote. We've got 3. And the winner by far was Corp 1. So I'm going to play Standard Corp. So first things first, I'm just going to open a bet up. Because if you want to bet, go for it. Same as before, if you put 0, it's me winning. If you put 1, it's the other person winning. I'll take you through the deck very quickly. I just want to check if it's this one. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so this started off as a Thule deck. And Veronica, I'm giving you all of my deck tech here. So it's up to you if you want to hang around for the deck tech. I don't mind if you do. That's totally cool if you do. So the big thing here is there's an agenda called Stegodon Mark IV, which when you have scored it and the runner runs against you, you get to de-res a piece of ice on another server. And basically, I'm obsessed with this agenda. Now, it's a very popular agenda, and people do use it in a lot of ways, but I have a lot of really crappy ice that kind of gets better the more it's resed, and that's the game plan. The game plan is resing echoes over and over again, resing pulses over and over again. So echo just gets an additional end the run subroutine every time it gets resed. I love all the people voting on for me to lose. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of the belief and respect that you have for me. Thank you so much. Pulses, when they get res, steal a click from the runner, which is really good fun. We can re-res magnets to steal stuff. And then the best card in the game at the moment for me is a Blade of Barrier, which when you res it, if there's 3 agenda points scored somewhere, you get to take something out of your heap and put it back into play, which means I can reinstall Rashida Jaheim's, which is the nuttiest card ever. Costs nothing to res, gets you 3 credits and 3 cards, yes please. Or, I can do things like reinstall a Manogram Skunkworks, which is a horrible, horrible upgrade. Or reinstall my virus back into R&D so that when they conduit run me again, I can strip their virus counters. Or put Mr. Hendrick back in there. Or get Vovo back so I can re-res all of this stuff for free. That's the plan. We also have, and I have to give them the credit for it, this is their deck tech. This is Asphyxia, or Jenny's deck tech, is the distributed tracing end of the line combo, which is nobody expects. Oh, thanks, Veronica. I appreciate that. So I'm going to set the game up. I'm going to put a password on it, Veronica. The password will be UWU, UWU, just so you can get in. I will put live on the thing just so that anyone can see it. I did get a distributed tracing end of the line kill off a reinstalling Rashida, a Blade of Barrier, to get the cards at Nationals, and it was delightful. Okay, so first this game live. I'm going to play Corp. We're going to play Standard. I'm going to close the betting now. Actually, you've got 10 to, you've got until the game starts to get your bets in. If you want to meet it, if you think I'm going to win, it's !bet 0 and how much you're betting. If you think Veronica's going to win, it's !bet 0 and how much Chico's going to win. They're just for channel points. You could use it to play voice files. Voice files like this. Just in case you want to know what sort of stuff there is. Let's create the game. I forgot to put the password on it. Is that WoW gonna play? There we go. Hey Derp, good to see you. Let's see if Veronica gets in. And we're gonna play Big Hug Mug. Veronica made it. Awesome. And we have Faceplant Hydra for spectating too. Alright, let's start the game. So this is a deck that I have a little bit of experience playing with, so I think I can do some interesting stuff with it. Now, this starting hand is pretty trash. Oh, we've got an Ansel. So the important thing we need to talk about is what... Ooh, they're playing Sable. First of all, the first thing we need to talk about is what Asa does. They might not be joining the stream. Well, yeah, are they here as well? If you are, thank you for tuning in. So... Asa is my identity, and basically whenever I install a card, I can then install another card into the same server that's not an agenda, so I can put an ice or an upgrade in to help defend that. Sable picks a server every turn, and if they run that at random, if they run that server, they get a click back, which is a central server, which is pretty powerful. Now, I do have an ablative here, and I do have an Ansel, and having the Ansel on my scoring remote is pretty nasty, so I think I'm actually going to keep this. Smurf name detected. Alright, let's keep... And we'll go from there, I think. Yeah, I want to keep this hand. It's not a deal. I'm going to have to leave R&D. I'm going to have to leave HQ. HQ will be fine to leave undone. I could get caught out. I haven't read it yet, so it's fine. Alright, let's start the turn. I get first turn. Always Corp first turn. What we're going to do is we're going to install Ansel. No, that gives away too much information. We're going to install Nico Campaign, which gives me 3 credits a turn. Full Mishaps name was just too long ago. Okay. Oh, that's you that's spectating Mishaps. Sorry. Thank you so much for spectating. I didn't realize that was you. We're going to start by putting this into a new remote. Asa will trigger and let me install a non-agenda card. We're going to put Ansel in front of it. We're probably not going to res that Ansel for a long time. But that's just there for a little bit of pressure. By installing it that way around, this could be an agenda. That's the mind game we're playing, because if I did it the other way around and I put a card in, if I put the ice in first and used Asa to put this here, they'd know it's not an agenda. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put an ablative in front of R&D. And I'm also going to install this spin blind in a new remote. And that's my turn. So I've set up defenses here, and put this here. Let's end the turn and see what happens. Oh, and let's close the vote as well. Betting is closed. So they're running the Ansel 1.0. I'm not going to res this. They can kill the Nico Campaign if they want to. So if I don't res the ice, they just get to run past it. They trashed it. That's fine. Like, that's one of their clicks gone. I'm not too worried about it. Now, I am going to do... I'm not going to let them run this for free. I get to res this for free and get to draw 2 cards. They can trash it if they want to. They decided not to trash it. So that was an aggressive first turn from Sable. Very aggressive first turn. I'm going to start my turn now. I've got some cool cards here. There's a few interesting things I can do. I've got a Seamless. This is a great card. I pay 1 for this, and I get to put 2 advancement tokens on a card that can be... 2 advancement cards on a card I installed this turn. So lets me get bigger agendas scored quicker at a slower speed, basically. I've got End the Line in the hand as well, which is how I kind of kill the runner. I've got a Hand Side Review, which is how I make a little money. There's nothing here I really want to discard. I could recur a Spin Doctor with an ablative later in the game. Let's draw a card. Ooh. Okay, I think we're going to try and score out this Offworld Office. So I'm going to install the Offworld Office in Server 1. That will let me install the Pulse in front of it, which will cost me 1 credit because it's further out. And then I'm going to gain a credit and end the turn. We'll see if they're willing to run a double D. Ooh, okay. This is bad. This turtle gets more powerful every time it completes a run. And it can break anything. That doesn't specifically say can't be broken by AI. So there's a chance they just get straight into Server 1 here. If they don't get into Server 1, I'm scoring the agenda. Looks like if they run now, they're screwed because Pulse will steal a click from them and they can break it. Okay, I've got the score. So this is the mind games, right? They could have gotten in here easily, but they didn't. Because Pulse only ends the run if they need to spend a click to end the run, but they could have broken it with... Actually, yeah, they could have broken it with a Muna. Anyway, we'll use the Seamless Launch to put 2 advancement tokens on this, and then we will advance it, and advance it. That's all of our clicks for the turn. Now we can score it. That gets us 7 credits and 2 agenda points. And that's not a bad turn 3. Docklands Pass is good. This is gonna be nasty. So they're getting in to breed 2 cards from HQ, and they're gonna get some money from Dirty Laundry. Dirty Laundry gets you 5 credits if you complete the run. Docklands Pass lets you access an additional card in HQ. They might kill our Rashida here. They did. That sucks. What else did they access? The Hansai review. Okay. We can get Rashida back. We've got ways of getting her back. And they're just drawing up. 1 click left. Okay. Distributed tracing. We actually have the kill in hand right now. For 5 credits, if they have less than 4 cards in hand, they're dead. So we need to keep on top of this. Let's draw another card. That's another Rashida. I'm going to install Rashida in server 1. I'm not going to use As's ability. And I think I'm going to draw another card and end the turn. There's an Ikawa project here. That might have been a mistake drawing a card because if they hit this, it's a click and 2 credits and they can steal this. And it's a lot of agenda points. It does turn on my Ablative Barrier though. Making that draw was actually a big mistake. But we'll see what happens. They hit the Spin Doctor and the end of the line. They did not hit the Ikawa project. So this is very important to pay attention to. Did they see the distributed tracing last turn? No, they haven't seen the distributed tracing. Ooh, Bravado. Oh, this is going to suck for them. So Bravado, you pay 3. Then when the run ends, you gain 6 credits plus 1 for every piece of ice you passed. We're going to res the pulse. I'm going to steal their last credit from them. And let's see what they do. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, they broke it. It's fine. I didn't do anything wrong. We can res Ansel. Can they break Ansel? They can break Ansel, but it's going to cost them all of their money. So they only have 1 click left. This will bankrupt me. No, it's not worth doing it. It's not worth doing it to protect Rashida. I'm not going to res. So they can access the server if they want to. This is going to get them quite a lot of money. They're making the decision of whether they want to access or whether they're going to run into a chap. This could be a Managram Skunk Works. Okay, they hit the Rashida, they trashed it, and they drew a card. You thought the answer was a snap res? I have a rule, Jai. It's a rule that I've been following that I should have actually mentioned at the time. Is when playing as Corp, I try not to bankrupt myself out of an ice res. I try to stay at least 2 credits. So I just thought that was too much money to spend there to protect Rashida. I'm going to pop this Spin Doctor to put both Rashidas back in my deck, though. And then we're going to start the turn and draw a card. Okay, we got an Echo. That Echo is essential to protect HQ. I still don't have a good target for Hansai, which is frustrating. I think we're going to install Echo in front of HQ. I'm going to draw 1 card. Okay, that's another Spin Doctor. I want to make a very awkward play, and I'm going to Hansai a Spin Doctor into Archives, which I can get back with the other Spin Doctor. It's not good, but I don't want to lose Distributed Tracing and the line, and I can't do it with the Echo. Actually, I could have done it. I should have Hansai'd the Echo. What am I thinking? Okay, no further actions. You can check that. This is getting big. I'm not kind of playing it the way other people are playing it, is all I'll say. The Hansai's are leftover from when this deck was Thule, and I haven't really replaced it yet. We're going to res the Echo. It's an easy break for them, but it gets bigger as the game goes on. They got 2 clicks. I should have Hansai'd the Iqua and then installed the Spin Doctor. That was a really bad misplay. Docklands, so Distributed Tracing and Spin Doctor, they still haven't hit the Ikawa project. We're dodging this over and over again. Yeah. I need to get my Mavirus installed. And I do indeed. I do indeed. Now, Ablative isn't active yet. I'm not going to res it. We need... they stole a Stegodon, which is very sad for me, because that's the card I'm looking for. Okay. They're drawing a lot of cards in Sable too. This is like Breakerless. Well, not Breakerless. Okay, there is a Off-World Office, which I do want to score out. This server is a little bit weak at the moment. I could put a Carl in front of it. I can't res any of these cards. I'm going to draw one more time. There's another Ablative. Let's get to server. Let's put this in server 1. We'll put the ablative in front of it, and we'll just act like we've got a completely airtight server. This is probably not going to work out very well. This Akuma is causing me problems. Oof, wow. It's cool, really cool to see a bankroll here. I'm not going to res the ablative there. They trashed another Rashida. Now they're running a diversion of funds. This is incredibly rude. I can't do anything about that, but that's pretty nasty. So this is going to steal all my money. And give it to them. Damn, that was nasty. I only have 2 credits now. Yeah, that was very oof. I needed that stag. All of those Rashidas. Losing the Rashidas has really slowed me down a lot. I can't afford to really advance to this off-world with 2 credits. Carl does nothing for me right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restore Rashida into a new remote. I'm going to put the Hakarl in front of her, and I'm going to click for 2 credits. So every time they get a successful run, this bankroll gets credits. And every time they get a successful run, the Akuma gets a virus counter on it. And its strength to break ice is the amount of virus counters it has on it. So it's getting stronger and stronger. And I need to be rezzing my ice over and over. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually get through this game. Normally, I'm kind of fast at getting a Stegodon score. That hasn't happened here. They're probably going to hit the Ikawa here. They still haven't hit the Ikawa. I'm never punished. Forever lucky. Definitely need to kill this. What did they just do? Oh, they did a deep dive. Of course it was a deep dive. What did they hit? They've hit an Ikawa, which they can steal. They're still in the Ikawa. Okay. So deep dive lets them, if they run all 3 essential servers, they get to look at the top 8 cards and just steal one. It's very bad for me. We're going to res Rashida and try and get back in this game. Mana draw, and then we'll trash and gain money. Okay, let's try and get back in this game, if we can. Former carry is very good to draw here. Hand size, not bad. To get some more cash on the board. Magnets, eh. So I think we're going to put Former Curry in front of Archives. Yeah, I probably do need to purge. But I can't purge this turn. We could put a magnet. We could put the Former Curry in front of Archives this turn. Just so I think of what to do. I could end the line them. I do have my virus, it just hasn't come up. Former Curry is a really nasty piece of ice that when it's unresed, it moves to wherever the runner is and reses itself. The ablative barriers are active now as well, which means we can start installing Rashidas for free. And any ice that I dump into my into my heap with Hansai Review, I can also res. I can also install with ablative barrier. I'm quite tempted to Hansai this magnet to make money. Bring it back later. Install the Formissery in front of Archives and next turn purge. I don't think it's a good sequence of play, if I'm being completely honest, but it's what I've got right now. So I'll put this in front of Archives. I'm not going to install anything else, and I'm going to gain a credit, and I'm going to end the turn. They've got such a good setup, unfortunately. Oh, I was actually going to put an advancement token on Off-World Office there, but that's too late to do that now. Now the question is, do I move the Former Curry over? I don't think I do. I wait till I've purged. They still haven't hit the Ikawa project. That's so funny. That would win them the game if they hit that. So I'm playing really badly here. Okay, this turn we purge. And we've got the Mavirus, which is really nice to see. But we purge. So now they can't break things until they get successful runs. So they just wiped all the virus counters off this. That takes all of my clicks to do that. There's a boomerang there, which is going to res ablative. We'll use that to put a Spin Doctor or a Rashida. I think we'll do it with the spin so that I can get rid of this Ikawa project. We'll put him in server 3. I'm not going to install anything else there. That's right. This is very leaky. That's a good point, Izzy. That's fine. They're going to continue to movement. No further actions. I'm not going to move my Furissery yet. They haven't hit anything that wins on the game, which is good. Okay. We've got 1 click left. This is not very synthwavy, is it? This music. So Boomerang is an interesting card. You play it, you attach it to a piece of ice. Okay. We're going to Pinhole. They're probably going to Pinhole the Spin Doctor. I think I get a window before they actually hit the Spin Doctor to check what it is. They also might not touch him. They might go and find out what is in here. So let's say you can continue. And I'll auto pass priority. So they can break through it. They might hit the... oh, actually... Oh, no, they're not going to hit. That's fine. Oh, I missed my window to res the Spin Doctor. I wasn't sure if I had one. They did decide to kill it. That's okay. I might install them a virus in the root of HQ. I'm being very careful with what music I use. Okay, what's the plan for this turn? My deck really isn't playing into how I want things to happen, which is kind of common, a very common complaint. Let's put another piece of ice in front of HQ. So what we're going to do is we're going to install my virus into HQ as an upgrade. That lets me put Mystery in front of it, just to make this look a little bit scarier. Then I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to advance this once. Let's just see what happens. That was a Rage Workers I drew, which is a really good card. If I do the same thing 3 times in a row, it gives me a free click. So I can res this pretty much at any time to wipe the virus counters off Akuma. And then once it's in archives, they can never run archives again. Sezva is a great card. It gives them 2 money whenever they run centrals. So they can't break this if Akuma has no virus counters. So what I'm going to do is res this and purge virus counters. And then they can continue to encounter the ice. They can't break it. And now they can never run archives. But if I get this ablative res, I can bring them a virus back and put it somewhere else, which is quite nice for me. All right, let's start the turn. This is a pretty simple turn. We're just going to advance, 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 and score that off-world office that's been sitting there forever. And then I'm going to be extremely risky, and I'm going to put the Ikawa project into archives. There's 1 Spin Doctor left in my deck, so this is very risky, but I'm hoping that while the Mavirus, this card here, is in my archives, because they're using Akuma as their breaker, they're not going to run archives. That's my plan. If they run archives, we lose the game. There's no spins left? Oh, one of them's been removed from the game. Oh, crap. This is what happens when you've had an entire glass of whiskey, and it is also, what, like midnight? It's 20 past midnight, yeah. Good shout, Izzy Blue. Well, I actually can get them back with ablative. It's all good. Okay, they've decided to run R&D. They can't break the Furissery, but they can force their way through it. Let's res this. They're gonna let me fire. So they have to take 2 net damage to continue the run if they want to. Okay. They let the run end. So there's still no counters on Akuma. I do have them locked out a little bit now. I maybe shouldn't have put this in the graveyard because I could have actually scored it out next time. Okay, Carmen is here. Carmen lets them break sentries, which are my Formissaries. So they can actually get in now. How much money do they have? So it's going to cost Carmen 1 credit to break through this. I can then bring my other Formissary over, which is another credit. It's gonna... Wait, will that trigger... That will trigger Asa, but I don't have anything to put in there with Asa, unfortunately. This is going to be an interesting interaction. Oh, they've got the Sezfa token as well. They've got more than enough money to break my Formissaries. It's a shame I haven't managed to get more sub... Well, it doesn't matter. Kuma could just break through Echo with no problems. I didn't encounter anyone. I encountered one person running Akuma at Nats, but they kept hitting my virus. I was able to bring it back and res it. It wasn't as much of a problem as it's been here. And I didn't... Echo wasn't my only end the run. I don't think there's any point bringing the Formissary up. We're just going to lose all of our money here, which sucks. I do have the option to res the Formissary. And I do have ways to unres it if I get a Stegodon scored. I'm going to drain a little bit of money from them. Just because they're about to steal all of my cash. I mean, it cost them 1 credit. It was really not worth it. It cost me 2 credits. So then I just lost 5 credits. Okay, how do we get back into this game? Nico's a big part of that. Wage workers might be part of that as well. I need to draw Vovo. No, I need to draw Stegodon. Why did this not get a run? Because they... Because they used a version of funds, they don't breach, right? So this didn't... Struggling what to think about to do here. I would like to get this Nico down. I could put the Nico in the scoring remote, or I could put Nico in server 3. It's probably safe there, to be honest. This is a sentry? No, it's a barrier. So Nico's very safe there. So that's an easy install here. That will build me up enough money to be able to hedge fund Hansai and get myself back into the money game. You did, Veronica. Let's put this into server 3. I'm not going to install anything else. And I want to click for 2 credits. And end the turn. The only good thing we can use at the moment is they can't get into R&D. Okay, now they can get into R&D. They just played a barrier breaker. This thing here is I've seen this coming up more and more, Kurupira. It actually seems quite nice. Every time you break a barrier, every time you break all of the subroutines on a barrier, you get a virus token on it, a power token on it. When it's got 3 power tokens, you can just bypass a barrier. I don't think they're going to run this turn, though. No. So we're going to res Nico. Okay. We're going to start our turn. We now got 4 credits. Of course we drew another off-road office. Not really what I wanted to see this turn. But if they steal the off-road office where they haven't won the game and we are in range to end the line Hansai them, I don't think they're actually going to go after it if I install into server 1. So what I could do here is gain a credit, install in server 1. Don't do that. And I'm actually going to... I would really like to advance this, but there's seamless launches in my deck that haven't come up yet. So I'm going to just hedge fund and end the turn. Blade of Ansel, Carl. This has not gone to game plan. Bravado. That's bad. At least there's nothing they can steal in here. now Akuma can break my strength 1 barriers. Has no credits left, but Bravado's going to refill their pool. Would it be nice to hit a Manogram or a Mr. Hendrick this game? Penny Shaver gets them hosts a credit every time they get a successful run, and they can spend a click to get all of the credits on Penny Shaver +1 into their pool. 9 credits off of Bravado is pretty nice, and getting an Akuma charge. Okay, they want to kill my poor Nico campaign. I could rest the Hikaru. To break it, it's going to cost them strength 4, so they're going to have to spend 3 credits to get up to strength. It's going to cost me a lot of money to res it. I'm going to res the Hikaru and see what happens. It's going to cost them money. We're going to de-res the Pulse. No, I should have de-res the Ablative. That was a mistake. I should have de-res the Ablative. Cost them 5 credits to get through. Then it's going to cost them another 2 credits to get through here. I just hope that that's enough of a drain. Wait, how do they break? Oh, they've got Miss Bones out. Okay, Miss Bones trashed it for them. So it's not even worth the credits to trash. I'm definitely getting tired. I'm losing a lot of my appraisal of the game state. But that's okay. I'm still really in this game. I'm in a very bad position. I should have de-resed the Ablative. Yeah, I should have de-resed the Ablative. Let's keep going. Is that they got the win? They still haven't hit the win. If we rip a Seamless here, we're back in the game. We did not. That's an Ablative Barrier. I need 3 installs for Wage Workers to trigger. What else can I do here? We could put the Ablative. We could overinstall one of the Formisseries and put the Ablative in. And then bring the Formissery back with an Ablative if we need it. Well, they are actually costing Carmen a credit to get through. It's not like they're not doing anything. I think we put the Ablative in front of R&D. I think I draw a card first to see what else I can do. We can also think about purging here. Okay, we got an Echo and an Ablative. The Echoes do nothing against this turtle, though. So I think I'm going to actually gain a credit and Hansai the Echo. I should have advanced the server one as well. But getting some money, I think, when I realized I could do it, wasn't too bad. Last night lets them look at the top 2 cards every turn and draw 1 and put the other on the bottom of their deck, which is pretty nice. And a Diesel as well. What are they digging for? Yeah, it's whether or not they're willing to roll archives. Oh, it's another. That's the 3rd diversion of funds this game. I was really hoping we wouldn't get hit by another one. Oh well, that's us really screwed. Doof is just really doofy. It's another 5 credits lost. Another 5 credits for them. And their Penny Shavers on 4 as well. Every time I think I have played a Hansai, I've been doofed right after. Alright, we've got a Luminal Transubstantiation, which doesn't do a lot for us right now. Do I want to Purge? Doesn't really do much. At least we hopefully can't be hit by another... I'm going to draw 1 card. There's the bloop. They don't actually have a Sentry Breaker. That could be interesting. let's put this over HQ. How do you overinstall in this version of Netrunner? I'm going to leave it, actually. I want it to be this deep. We're going to put wage workers into server 3. I'm going to click... Oh, I can't do that. I don't have enough credits. I need to undo that click. Until I'm getting tired. Let's get a credit and end the turn so we can raise Bloop. I just need to manually trash it. Okay. I think this was a big misplay. I should have trashed both of them for mysteries. They drew the code gate breaker. That still doesn't help. Yeah, you can get in there. Is the agenda on top of the deck for them to win the game? Have we hit the end of the playlist? Sounds like we have. They hit it. Okay. They put me on my misery. That was a terrible game. That was a bad game for me. Very well played from them. I didn't realize how weak Echo was to Akuma. It's probably going to have to come out of the deck now. I haven't really faced Akuma before. Not like that. Like on turn 2. And just... The Echoes normally keep people out until I can get the other ice in place. Yeah, it's 12:30. And I can definitely feel the time on me now. Which is a shame, because I really wanted to stay up later and play more games. Just pointing out, Veronica did very, very well in that game. They just kept the pressure on me, and the economic pressure was huge. Scoring out the... I think they doofed both of the off-world officers, I think, and they also got my hand side review. The deck obviously needs a lot of work to rebuild it. It's not as solid as I thought it was, which is a shame. I thought it was just like a fine deck. First loses 1. So there you go to all that bet against me. Alright, let's leave the game. So for me right now, it is 12:30, and I wanted to keep going for a bit longer, but I am clearly very tired. I think that was very evident towards the end of that game, with the commentary falling away, which is a shame. Well done, Veronica. That was a really, really good game. You played really, really well. So, I'm trying to think. Just give me a second. Okay, if you do exclamation mark points, I think you'll find you've got a lot of points. I'm just checking something. But I think I need to commission somebody. Oh, you won't hear the music right now. That sucks. I just realized you won't hear the music. If I just copy this source. Copy it into this. Actually, I'll just... You should now be able to hear the music. You should have more than 78. Oh, 314. There you go. You got tons of points. You can do 2 whole text-to-speech chat messages. Thank you so much for playing. Honestly, I really, really appreciate you stepping up and getting involved with the games when we weren't having anyone else coming up.